Building independence, working to not be codependent. There are 6 main types of boundaries people need to learn and establish in their lives in order to healthily engage in relationship. The first of these is personal boundaries. We have not only the right, but also the duty to take responsibility for how we allow others to treat us. Personal boundaries spell out how we expect to be treated and guard us from being abused or disrespected. A person with healthy self-esteem and a healthy self-respect will establish boundaries that indicate to others how he or she would like to be treated. This, in turn, helps them steer clear from unhealthy and dysfunctional relationships. Another important set of boundaries are emotional boundaries. A boundary draws an imaginary line separating your feelings from the feelings of those around you. The result is you avoid taking on other people's feelings for them or make yourself responsible for their emotional state. If they are upset, annoyed, or sad, there is no need for you to carry their emotions too. If they are stressed in relating to a loved one, you don't need to identify with them so strongly that you are also upset with that loved one. A person with healthy emotional boundaries does not find it necessary to give unsolicited advice, try to make someone else feel better, or try to fix or rescue others from their problems. Also, they don't blame others for the state of their own life. A person without emotional boundaries might be involved in often giving or receiving advice. They think they are helping others by offering perspective, but the codependent's efforts are a covert form of controlling. Though the codependent will deny it, rescuing others from their problems fundamentally boils down to controlling behavior under the guise of being good and caring. Another key set of boundaries are mental boundaries. Mental boundaries refer to the ability to define and stay true to your thoughts, values, and opinions. Healthy mental boundaries enable us to think our own thoughts and form our own opinions, and with that, the ability to reject thoughts and opinions that we do not agree with. A person with mental boundaries does not need to attack the opinions of others, nor do they immediately buy into the viewpoints offered by other people. People without mental boundaries may make a decision but are unable to stick to it or trust it. Upon hearing another's suggestion, someone who is codependent may doubt themselves and change their original plans. A person struggling with codependency lacks the mental boundary to keep in perspective the opinion of someone else while keeping true to their own thoughts and judgments. A further key set of boundaries are material boundaries. People who are codependent often lack an awareness of their own self-worth and lack a strong identity. They may use their material goods and belongings to try and manipulate those around them and attempt to get people to care. This could also manifest as simply taking ownership of environments that don't belong to them, such as walking into someone else's house and immediately acting like it is their own, or pushing material goods on others without consideration for the appropriate time or place. They may bestow gifts on others when it's uncalled for the sole aim of winning the affection or favor of someone else. Another key set of boundaries are physical boundaries. Physical boundaries refer to your personal space, privacy, and your own body. These boundaries relate to what, where, when, and with whom you would like to get close. For example, when a person stands too close to you or touches you in a manner that feels uncomfortable, they've violated your physical boundary. If you stand close to others or touch them without them indicating that it's what they want, you're invading their personal space and may need to work on your respect for people's personal boundaries. Physical boundaries. Lastly, spiritual boundaries are important. Spiritual boundaries define our beliefs about our place in the world and the broader context of the universe existentially. Having healthy spiritual boundaries enables us to define our personal relationship with the universe and any higher power without the imposition of others. These boundaries manifest in a wide variety of ways in our lives. A number of actionable examples exist, and we will go into a few. For instance, you may find in life that you are acting as a martyr or trying to save someone else. You are not better for trying to manifest martyrdom or save someone else. A person who has healthy boundaries invests a certain amount of time in others and recognizes that they have their own life to live. It is not in anyone's best interest for them to overfunction to save people. No matter how much you care about them, you aren't actually being helpful by serving them unconditionally. It is important to practice self-care and recognize your own needs and take care of those needs. In relationship, it's always your responsibility to be present in what you want. Are you not serving yourself? Are you frustrated in your relationship? Or are you feeling depressed, sad, or tired? What do you want in a relationship, and how is that different from what you're getting? Make sure you're actually taking into account your own needs when you relate to loved ones. Saying no is another important part of self-care. When you are interacting with someone and they ask for something that is not aligned with what you want, it is best to say no. It isn't selfish to say no. It is in the best interest of everyone involved. Being a people pleaser isn't going to satisfy you or the people you relate to in the long term. Relate with the mindset that you aren't going to be able to save anyone else and that you have to be your own person. Further, it isn't your right to control anyone else or try to affect how they feel. You have to care for yourself and let others care for themselves in order to maintain a healthy set of sustainable relationships. Often by giving advice, we think we're helping someone. As we discussed earlier, this can really just be a type of control. Asking questions to help someone understand their situation more is a good way to maintain boundaries and let them be who they are. It is always important to observe yourself when you're trying to control others, as this is not a healthy way to relate. Being overly invested in someone, whether they are your life partner or not, is damaging to you and your relationship. Recognize that you are safe without them, and they are healthier without depending on you to function or without you being so attached to their emotional state. The reality is that I cannot save people from making their own decisions, and they are going to have to live their own lives. Recognizing that it is not my role to control anyone and caring about them anyways is part of what loving people truly looks like. When I recognize one of these codependent characteristics or motivations in my life, I should label it in my head and then decide how I want to act.